Simeon? Why not Lucius? They would say, God has spoken. God has spoken. These two missionaries were propelled by fervent prayer from the church, and sweet affirmation from the Lord. And friends, that should inspire missionary. Church, we must be a praying church, but we must also be an obeying church. To seek the Lord in prayer and to obey him when he says go or when he says send. Think about marriage. Why do you think we marry? We marry and we are happy on our wedding day, primarily because the father has given his consent. The father has said, yes, here, you can have my daughter, marry her. And we know that anyone who has escaped with anyone's daughter perhaps will have a chiding in his heart, might not even know real joy in marriage because maybe they did not do things the right way. Similarly, friends, we have joy when we are missionaries, when we take upon ourselves to preach the gospel to lands that are far, when we take it upon ourselves to preach the gospel at home as pastors and teachers, because God has given us his approval. Because God has given us his approval. Well, dear friends, as we rush to a close, where did this church at Antioch learn to be such a vehicle that complies and commits itself to God? Who exemplifies this character of trust and obedience as a missionary? Who does that? It's the Lord Jesus Christ, isn't he? The best missionary that was ever there. The one who was sent by his Father, who mingled and mixed these two realities so perfectly that he committed himself to God in prayer and then he obeyed God in his mission. Friends, when the Lord Jesus Christ came, he came preaching the gospel of the kingdom. Before he started his mission or his work, he prayed. You remember those 40 days in the desert? Before he called his disciples, what did Jesus do? He prayed. When the crowds were many, what did he do? He secluded himself to a desolate place and did what? Prayed. When he faced the awesome task of laying down his life for the sin of mankind, what did he do? He prayed. That night at Gethsemane, when he committed himself to God and sought the will of God and cried out, Father, if it pleases you, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not thy will, not my will, but your will be done. Friends, Christ did not just commit himself to God,